what we're going to do is jump into the apartment sector of what you're going to expect for a fire inspection. So we're going to cover Knox boxes. Most apartments will have Knox boxes. Most commercial businesses like Lowe's, Home Depot, Publix, things like that will have the Knox box. I'll access that. I'll check the Knox box at the location and verify all the keys are going to work. And then we're also going to check out the sprinkler system. We're going to check out the fire alarm system and the private hydrants. Hey, how's it going? So for our fire inspection, I went ahead and got the access to the fire alarm key and sprinkler. So now we're going to check their sprinklers and fire alarms. So when we go to apartment complexes and most commercial businesses, we will access our Knox box and check your Knox box to make sure all your keys are the correct keys for your business. Anytime we access it, it's also documented that we're accessing it. We're in front of our fire department connection. That's what FDC means. That sign is normally outside next to a big pipe like that. That shows the fire department where to hook up into the sprinkler system to help provide water in case there's a fire. Right next to it is a PIO valve. On this valve, this actually helps us shut down the system or turn it back on. Currently, it says open, so that means it's on. As I'm approaching the fire alarm, you see riser room and FACP, which means basically fire alarm panel. And we want to make sure that our hedges are not so high that it covers it. So right now, this is fine, but if it gets any higher, we will have to get them to trim it down so the fire department can actually see what they need to get to. So right here, this is your riser. So the three types of tags that you'll normally see on your riser or your sprinkler system is green, yellow, or red. And these are all ors, not ands. So with green means good. That means that the system is in compliance. Everything is working as it should. And as an inspector, I'm also going to look at the pressure, make sure the pressure is where it needs to be. I'm going to also look at the date that they came out and making sure that this is a recognized company that actually inspects these systems. If you have a yellow tag, that means there might be a small issue, and it could be something that is expired, such as a valve or even a pressure gauge. Those actually expire. Whenever the company comes out and does the annual test, they'll put one of those tags on there. If there is a minor deficiency, they should come out within 180 days and fix that deficiency. And then once they fix it, they're going to put notes and comments on the back. The fire inspector should go ahead and get that report to see what that deficiency and make sure that it was fixed in the allotted time. Owners still need to follow up with that report. Normally after they come out and do the annual inspection, they'll send them a paperwork. They need to respond within allotted time frame and go ahead and start working with them to fix that deficiency. So also on this system, there's a red tag. At one point, the life of the sprinkler, which this sprinkler is a little bit older, they had some type of issue. So it was red tagged. They did come back out and they fixed the deficiency. And then where we are today, they're green tagged. So everything's great. So that's just part of the sprinkler system, but this is the main part. So the other part of the sprinkler system that we're looking for inspection is the sprinkler head box. So it should say spare sprinkler heads on it. With these, what we're looking for is to make sure that they have plenty of spare sprinkler heads, which they are supposed to have 6 or more, depending on what kind of facility it is, and at minimum have a wrench. You'll normally see more with diagrams and things like that. Most of the apartment complexes actually keep that in a separate book like this one inside with their life safety plan. Behind me is your fire alarm. So with this fire alarm right now, it says system normal. So that's what I'm looking at. I want to make sure that there's a key or I have access to a key. I want to make sure that the batteries have been inspected and they have an expiration date on them. Everything expires. And then I'm also looking for an annual inspection tag by a licensed company. So I check that, check my dates and what they did. They came out and they did an annual inspection. They did a full service test. So we'll lock it up and we'll move to the next thing. So each building at all apartment complexes are going to have separate fire inspection reports, and that's because each building could have different violations. So we're not going to group everything together. And even when it comes to new constructions, it's actually going to have separate permits. Right now I'm in front of one of the hydrants. This is a private hydrant. So how you define that? You Google Leon County fire hydrants and the GIS report will populate up. You can type in your address at your business or even your home and figure out where your hydrants are. So with this business, I went to the GIS report and I found that they own this hydrant. So they are responsible for pressure testing this on an annual basis. Annual basis means once a year. This is private, so they have to make sure that the water and pressure is going to be where they need it in case we have a fire. What we're also looking at is the stairwells. We're going to make sure that the handrails are secure. They're not coming off, they're unwelded, making sure all the bolts are good. We're also going to make sure that the stairs are good itself. Concrete does crack, so does wood. And we'll walk up and down every single floor and we'll make sure that they're all good to go. And we're also looking for electrical. We're looking for anything that's going to start fires. We're also making sure you don't have any type of grills on the porch because you're not allowed to grill on these porches. Even though it has a sidewall sprinkler head on majority of your apartments, you're not allowed to grill at all. So your grills shouldn't be even stored on the porch. They should be away from the structure or in a secure location. But most apartment complexes offer you an area, especially like in the pool area, to grill because they catch on fire or people will utilize it as an easy way to cook at their house, but they don't realize that heat that rises up on their porch is going to either A, catch the ceiling on fire, or it's going to pop off that sprinkler head, which is going to cause all the units to come here responding because they're going to get a water flow fire alarm. And so then all the water is going to have to be shut down. They will have to send a private company out to fix everything and put a new sprinkler head back in. So a couple other things that we look for in apartments, we look for proper signage. So when the fire truck pulls up, they need to know where they're going to go. Normally outside, they're mandated to actually have a map of the apartment complex. And then each building is supposed to have large enough letters and numbers stating what building it is and where we need to go. Hi, sweetheart.
Yes.
There's multiple factors that we're looking at when we do our inspections. But those are the meat and potatoes as we move forward with our inspections in this series. So if you see something, always say something. Always talk to your apartment complex about any type of hazards that they might not see, because normally all apartments will have maintenance personnel, but they are not always going to catch things. So inside your apartment, if you're having issues, electrical, HVAC issues, make sure that you ask them about that and also ask them about testing your smoke detectors inside. And if you have a fire alarm that's constantly beeping, make sure you tell someone about it or even contact the local fire department to let them know that you're having an issue at your apartment. For any type of complaints with your apartment complex, call 850-891-6600. And of course, if it's a real emergency, call 911. State who you are, your address, and what's going on and what you need. For our business owners, what I always recommend is to create an I love you book. And this is for insurance purposes, it's for employee purposes, and it's of course important for us as fire inspectors. So in that book, I'm looking for emergency contact information. I'm also looking for fire drill documentation in high-rise apartments. I'm also looking for any type of receipts, documentations for smoke detectors, for fire extinguishers, any and all that stuff that you have paid for your life safety. So the inspector has to go through those reports and they have to verify everyone has a fire extinguisher, making sure that everything's getting tested. And also, if there's a dryer inside, it actually has to be cleaned on an annual basis. And we have to have that documentation as well, because dryer fires and kitchen fires are some of our leading fires.